She was given to him like a solution to a problem no one had asked her opinion about. A political offering, a sacrifice wrapped in ceremony and forced smiles. 20 years old, untouched, unprepared. And he was the Alpha King who had never learned to be gentle. They stood across from each other on their mating night. Two strangers bound by duty, separated by fear, neither knowing what came next. What she did not know was that the most feared man in the North was just as terrified as she was. This was not a love story that began with passion. It began with failure, with awkward silence and fumbling attempts, and a night that should have sealed their bond, but only revealed how lost they both were. But sometimes, the greatest love stories are not about people who know exactly what to do. What came after, no one could have predicted. Not even them. They say an Alpha King can command armies with a single word, but understanding a woman's heart is a war no king is ever prepared for. The North did not whisper Harvey Kingswell's name. It avoided it. His castle rose from black cliffs like a monument to power itself. Stone towers carved into the mountain face, their windows narrow as knife wounds. The walls bore no tapestries, no softness, only iron and shadow. Wolves prowled the courtyards below, their eyes reflecting torchlight. They bowed to no one except him. Inside those walls, silence reigned. Not the peaceful kind, the kind that came from fear, from absolute control, from a ruler who had never needed warmth to maintain his grip on the kingdom. Harvey stood at the window of his private chamber, hands clasped behind his back, 32 years old. Alpha King since he was 19. He had inherited a fractured territory and forged it into something unbreakable through sheer will and calculated violence. He was tall, broad-shouldered, his dark hair always perfectly controlled. His eyes were the color of steel in winter. People said looking into them was like staring into a void that stared back. He had never taken a Luna, never needed one. The castle staff moved through the halls like ghosts, efficient and invisible. His advisors spoke only when spoken to. His warriors would die at his command without question. This was order. This was strength. This was everything he understood. The door opened behind him. He did not turn. "Your Majesty." The voice belonged to Dominic Lancaster, head of his personal guard, one of the few men Harvey almost trusted. "But the council has assembled." Harvey's jaw tightened. He knew what this meeting would bring. They had been circling it for months. Let them wait. Dominic hesitated. That alone told Harvey how serious this was. Dominic never hesitated. "My king, they are unified on this matter." Harvey finally turned. His expression revealed nothing. "Then they have grown bold. They believe it is necessary." The walk to the council chamber felt longer than usual. Harvey's boots echoed against stone floors that had never known carpeting. Servants pressed themselves against walls as he passed, eyes downcast. The council chamber was circular, dominated by a massive table of black oak. 7 men sat around it, each one an alpha in his own right, ruling different sectors of the northern territories under Harvey's ultimate authority. But they stood when he entered. He did not acknowledge the gesture. Harvey took his seat at the head of the table. The chair was not ornate. It did not need to be. Everyone in the room knew who held the power. "Speak." His voice carried no warmth, no invitation, just command. Cassius Thornton, the eldest counselor, cleared his throat. "Your Majesty, we come before you on a matter that can no longer be delayed." Harvey said nothing. His stillness was its own form of pressure. Cassius continued. The southern packs grow restless. The eastern territories question your commitment to continuity. There have been whispers. I am not interested in whispers. Then let me speak plainly. Cassius leaned forward. You have no heir, no Luna. What the pack bloodline requires, I am aware of what bloodlines require. Harvey's fingers drummed once against the table, a small movement that made every man in the room tense. What you are proposing, another counselor, Vincent Caldwell, spoke up. An alliance through mating. The Blackwell pack controls key territories along the border. They have offered a solution. Harvey's eyes narrowed. Offered. Their daughter, 20 years old, unmated. In exchange for protection and formal alliance, they would present her as your Luna. The room went quiet. Harvey had expected this conversation eventually. He had not expected it to come with a decision already made. You misunderstand your position. His voice dropped lower. I do not take suggestions from my council on matters of personal. This is not personal. Your Majesty. Cassius interrupted. A dangerous move. This is political survival. The packs need to see continuity. They need to see strength extending into the future. A Luna, an heir. These are not requests. They are requirements if we are to maintain unity. Harvey's control was absolute. Not a muscle in his face moved. But inside, something cold settled in his chest. He had built his entire existence on autonomy, on answering to no one, on needing nothing he could not take or create through his own power. And now they were telling him he needed a woman. Not for pleasure, not for companionship, for politics. This Blackwell daughter. Harvey's tone was dangerously neutral. What do we know of her? Vincent pulled out a thin folder. Fiona Blackwell, youngest of 3 children. Raised quietly, no scandals. Educated, but not, or ambitious. Her pack is small, but strategically located. The alliance would stabilize the border conflicts. And she has agreed to this? A pause. Too long. She will honor her pack's decision. Translation. She had no choice. Harvey stood. The councillors immediately rose as well. Arrange a meeting. I will see her before any decision is made. Your Majesty, with respect, the decision has already... Harvey's eyes cut to Cassius. The old Alpha's words died in his throat. I said I will see her first. He left the chamber without waiting for dismissal. Let them scramble to keep up with his requirements. He was still king. But as he walked back through the cold corridors of his castle, Harvey felt something unfamiliar. Uncertainty. He had faced rebellions, challenges to his authority, threats to his territory. He had crushed all of them with calculated precision. But a woman, a mate, these were things he had never learned, never needed to learn. His father had died when Harvey was 18. His mother had been distant, cold, more concerned with political maneuvering than motherhood. He had been raised by tutors and trainers and military advisors. No one had taught him softness. No one had shown him how to be gentle. He ruled through strength and fear and absolute control, because that was all he knew. And now they expected him to take a mate, to bond with someone, to create intimacy. Harvey returned to his chamber and closed the door. For the first time in years, he stood in the center of the room and felt something close to doubt. Not about his ability to rule. Never that. But about his ability to be something other than a king. Till 3 days later, Fiona Blackwell arrived. Harvey watched from the window as the carriage approached. Small, simple, bearing the Blackwell crest, but nothing grand. This was not a family flaunting wealth or power. This was a family doing what was necessary to survive. He did not go down to greet her. That was not his way. Instead, He remained in his study, reviewing territorial reports that suddenly seemed far less important than they had an hour ago. Dominic entered without knocking, another privilege of long service. "She has arrived, Your Majesty." "I am aware. She is smaller than expected." Harvey's eyes lifted from the papers. "Smaller." "Young," Dominic corrected himself. "She looks younger than 20. Harvey set down his pen. "Bring her to the formal reception room. I will meet her there." He did not rush, and a king did not rush for anyone. But as he walked through the halls toward the reception room, Harvey found himself adjusting his coat, checking his reflection in a darkened window. He stopped himself. This was ridiculous. She was coming here to fulfill a political arrangement, nothing more. There was no need for... He pushed open the door to the reception room and stopped. Fiona Blackwell stood near the window, hands folded in front of her. She wore a simple dress, deep blue, modest. Her dark hair was pulled back from her face. She was not looking at the door. She was staring out at the courtyard below, watching the wolves. She was indeed small, delicate in a way that seemed almost impossible in this harsh place. But there was something in the way she held herself. Not cowering, not afraid, just observing. Harvey closed the door behind him. The sound made her turn. Their eyes met. Hers were dark brown, almost black. They widened slightly when she saw him, but she did not look away, did not drop her gaze like everyone else in this castle. She studied him the same way he was studying her. For a long moment, neither spoke. Harvey had rehearsed this meeting in his mind. He had planned exactly what to say, how to position this arrangement in clear, logical terms. But now, standing here, looking at this girl who had been given to him like a treaty written in flesh, he found himself at a loss. "Fiona Blackwell." His voice came out rougher than intended. She dipped her head in a gesture of respect, but her eyes stayed on his. "Your Majesty, you understand why you are here?" It was not a question, but she answered anyway. "Yes." "And you agree to this arrangement?" Something flickered in her expression, too fast to read. "I will honor my pack's commitment." Not the same as agreement. Harvey noticed the distinction. He moved further into the room, keeping distance between them. "This is a political alliance, nothing more. You will be Luna in title. You will appear at formal functions. You will fulfill the requirements of the position." "I understand." "Do you?" Harvey's eyes narrowed. "Do you understand what that means? What will be expected?" Color rose in her cheeks. Finally, a crack in that careful composure. Yes." She did not understand. Not really. How could she? Harvey felt that unfamiliar uncertainty return. This girl had been raised in a small pack, sheltered. She had probably been told some sanitized version of what mating involved. But standing here, looking at her, he knew she had no idea what she was walking into, and neither did he. "The ceremony will be in 3 days." Harvey's tone became pure business, an attempt to regain solid ground. "You will be given quarters. Staff will attend to your needs. If you require anything, will you?" She stopped herself. Harvey waited. Fiona's hands tightened where they were folded. "Will you tell me what you expect of me?" The question was simple, reasonable, but it hit Harvey like a physical blow. What did he expect? Obedience, certainly. Public unity. An heir, eventually. But beyond that, he had no answer. "I expect you to fulfill your role as Luna." The word sounded hollow even to him. Nothing more. Fiona nodded slowly, but something in her eyes dimmed. She had been hoping for more. For what? Harvey did not know. Kindness, perhaps. That warmth, things he had never learned to give. "You may go." Harvey turned away, a clear dismissal. "Dominic will show you to your chambers." He heard her footsteps, soft against stone, the door opening. Then her voice, quiet but clear. "Thank you for agreeing to meet me, Your Majesty." The door closed. Harvey stood alone in the reception room, hands curling into fists at his sides. She had thanked him. For what? For the bare minimum of acknowledging her existence before tying her to him permanently. He moved to the window where she had been standing, looked down at the courtyard, at the wolves prowling below. He had conquered territories, crushed rebellions, built an empire on strength and control. But standing here, knowing that in 3 days, this girl would be bound to him. Harvey Kingswell, Alpha King of the North, it felt something he had not experienced in over a decade. Fear, not of enemies or challengers, but of failing at something that should have been instinctive. He did not know how to be gentle, did not know how to be patient, did not know how to touch without claiming, to hold without crushing. And in 3 days, he would be expected to do all of those things, with a girl who had been given to him like a solution to a problem. A girl who had looked at him with something that might have been hope, before he crushed it with his cold efficiency. Harvey closed his eyes. This was going to be a disaster. Fiona sat on the edge of the massive bed in her assigned chambers, hands folded in her lap, trying very hard not to cry. The room was beautiful in a cold, impersonal way. Stone walls, high ceilings, a fireplace large enough to stand in, a furniture that looked expensive but unused. Everything here felt like that. Beautiful and empty. Like the man she was about to marry. She had known this was coming, had known from the moment her father sat her down 3 weeks ago, his face grave, his words careful. The Alpha King needs a Luna. Our pack needs protection. You would be serving your family, Fiona. Serving our people. Her mother had cried. Her older sister, Lydia, had looked horrified. Her brother, Theodore, had raged about selling her like livestock. But none of it mattered. The decision had already been made. Fiona had 2 choices, honor her family or shame them. So she had agreed, quietly, the way she always did. But agreeing in theory and standing in front of Harvey Kingswell in reality were 2 completely different things. She had expected someone intimidating, and the stories about the Alpha King were legend, ruthless, merciless. A man who had crushed 3 separate rebellions before he turned 25. What she had not expected was the complete absence of anything beyond that. No warmth, no curiosity, no hint that she was anything more than another item on a list of royal requirements. When he had looked at her, it was like being assessed, measured, found adequate for a purpose, not seen. Fiona stood and moved to the window. The view showed the northern mountains, sharp and unforgiving against the sky. Snow already capped the highest peaks, even though autumn had barely begun. This was her home now. This cold, silent castle, full of people who moved like shadows, and a king who spoke like every word was rationed. A knock at the door made her turn. "Come in." A woman entered. Older, to her grey hair pulled back severely. She carried herself with the confidence of someone who had been here a long time. "Miss Blackwell, I am Adelaide Prescott, head of household staff. I've been assigned to help you adjust." Fiona managed a small smile. "Thank you." Adelaide's expression softened slightly. "You look overwhelmed. Is it that obvious? You're the first woman to occupy these chambers in over a decade. The entire castle is in shock." Adelaide moved further into the room, assessing it with a critical eye. "We'll need to make some changes. This is far too austere for a Luna." I don't want to cause trouble. It's not trouble, it's necessity. Adelaide looked at her directly. You're about to become Queen of the North. That means something, even if His Majesty hasn't quite realized it yet. Fiona's eyes widened. Well, you speak very freely. I've been here since Harvey Kingswell was in diapers. I'm too old to start filtering myself now. Adelaide pulled out a small notebook. Now, the ceremony is in 3 days. We have much to prepare. Over the next hour, Adelaide outlined everything that would happen. The formal ceremony, the traditional vows, the feast afterward, and then the mating night. Adelaide's voice became gentler when she reached that part. I assume your mother explained. She tried. Fiona felt heat rush to her face. But it was vague. Adelaide sighed. They always are. All right, I'll be direct. The bond must be consummated. That's not negotiable. It's part of what makes the mating legitimate in the eyes of the pack. Fiona nodded, her throat tight. Have you ever? No. Never. Adelaide's expression grew sympathetic. And His Majesty, despite his reputation, has never taken a formal mate. This will be new for both of you. That surprised Fiona. I assumed he had experience, perhaps, but intimacy. Adelaide shook her head. That requires vulnerability, something Harvey Kingswell does not do well. Fiona absorbed this information. It did not make her feel better. If anything, it made everything more terrifying. Two people who did not know each other, who had never touched, expected to. She pushed the thought away. What if? Fiona's voice came out smaller than she intended. What if he doesn't? What if I can't? Adelaide sat beside her on the bed. Then you'll manage, because that's what we do. We manage. It was not the reassurance Fiona had been hoping for, but it was honest. The next 3 days passed in a blur of preparations. Or seamstresses fitted her for a ceremonial gown. Adelaide drilled her on protocols and traditions. Servants moved through her chambers, adding small touches of warmth, tapestries, cushions, flowers that made the space feel slightly less like a beautiful prison. Fiona saw Harvey only once during those 3 days. She had been walking through the castle gardens, one of the few places that felt alive, when she rounded a corner and nearly collided with him. He stopped. So did she. They stood on the path, 3 feet apart, staring at each other. I apologize, Your Majesty. I should have been more careful. The gardens are open to you. His tone was neutral, giving nothing away. You may go where you wish. Thank you. Silence stretched between them. Fiona searched for something to say, some way to bridge the vast distance between them. The roses are beautiful. Harvey glanced at the flower beds. I had not noticed. Of course he hadn't. Do you spend much time here? She tried again. No. Another dead end. Fiona felt frustration rising beneath her nervousness. This was impossible. How were they supposed to build any kind of bond, any kind of life together, if he gave her nothing to work with? Your Majesty, I know this arrangement was not your choice. It was necessary. He cut her off. That is all that matters. Is it? The words escaped before she could stop them. We're about to be bound for life. Does it not matter at all that we know nothing about each other? Harvey's eyes narrowed. For a moment, she thought she saw something flicker in them. Surprise, maybe, that she had pushed back. What would you like to know? The question caught her off guard. She had not expected him to actually ask. Fiona scrambled for something meaningful. What do you value? What matters to you beyond duty? Harvey's expression closed off again. Duty is all that matters. That cannot be true. It is for me." Fiona felt her heart sink. This man was a fortress, every wall reinforced, every gate locked, and she was supposed to find a way inside. "Then I hope," she chose her words carefully, "I hope I do not become simply another duty you must fulfill." Something shifted in Harvey's face, so subtle she almost missed it. "The ceremony is tomorrow." His voice remained level. "You should rest." He walked past her without another word. Fiona stood alone in the garden, surrounded by roses he had never noticed, and felt the weight of what was coming settle over her like winter frost. What the night before the ceremony, Fiona could not sleep. She lay in the massive bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to calm her racing thoughts. Tomorrow, she would stand before the entire northern pack and bind herself to a man who looked at her like a problem to be solved. Tomorrow night, she would be expected to. She squeezed her eyes shut. Her mother's vague explanations had not prepared her. Adelaide's frank practicality had not helped. Lydia had whispered rushed advice about relaxing and trusting instinct, but Lydia had mated for love. Fiona was mating for politics, and she had no idea what to expect. A soft knock interrupted her spiraling thoughts. "Yes?" Adelaide entered, carrying a tray with tea. "I suspected you would be awake." Fiona sat up. "Why, I cannot seem to stop thinking." "That's normal." Adelaide poured the tea and handed her a cup. Every bride is nervous before her mating ceremony. Even when the groom barely speaks to her? Adelaide's smile was sad. Especially then. They sat in silence for a moment, sipping tea. "May I ask you something?" Fiona said quietly. "Of course. Has he ever shown kindness? To anyone?" Adelaide considered this carefully. Harvey Kingswell is not cruel, but he is not warm. He was raised to be a king, not a man. His father died suddenly, violently. Harvey inherited a territory in chaos when he was barely more than a boy. He learned very quickly that softness was weakness. And now he does not know how to be anything else. Adelaide met her eyes. But that does not mean he cannot learn. You think he will? I think you are stronger than you realize, Fiona Blackwell. And I think Harvey Kingswell is about to discover that controlling a kingdom is far easier than understanding a woman's heart. Fiona wanted to believe her, but as she lay back down after Adelaide left, alone in the darkness, all she could think was, tomorrow her life would change forever. And she had no idea if the man waiting at the end of that ceremony would ever see her as anything more than a requirement he had to fulfill. The ceremony took place at dusk. The great hall had been transformed. Torches lined the walls, the pack assembled in traditional formation. And at the center, on a raised platform, Harvey Kingswell stood waiting. He wore black, formal attire that made him look even more imposing than usual. His expression was controlled, revealing nothing. Fiona walked toward him, down an aisle of watching wolves, her heart pounding so hard she thought everyone must hear it. The dress they had made for her was beautiful. White silk with silver threading, traditional for a Luna's mating ceremony, but it felt like armor, not celebration. She reached the platform, climbed the steps, stood across from Harvey. Up close, she could see the tension in his jaw, the rigid control in every line of his body. He was as uncomfortable as she was. The realization did not comfort her. It just made everything sadder. The ceremony master began the traditional vows, ancient words about unity and strength and bloodlines. Fiona spoke her parts when required. So did Harvey. His voice was steady, commanding, giving no hint of doubt. When it came time for the bonding mark, the ritual bite that would seal their connection, Harvey stepped closer. this was the moment, the physical claim that would bind them in the eyes of the pack. Fiona tilted her head, exposing her neck. Her pulse hammered beneath her skin. Harvey hesitated. It was barely a second. Most people probably did not notice, but Fiona felt it. The fraction of uncertainty before his teeth pressed against her throat. The careful control in how he applied pressure. Enough to mark, not enough to truly hurt. It was over in seconds. When he pulled back, there was blood on his lips, the traditional sign of bonding. The pack erupted in howls of approval. They were mated now, bound, Luna and Alpha King. Fiona touched her neck where his mark burned, felt the warmth of her own blood. Mojave eyes met hers for just a moment. She could not read what she saw there. Then he turned to address the pack, his voice carrying through the hall with absolute authority, claiming her before all of them, declaring their bond official. Fiona stood beside him, one hand pressed to her bleeding neck, and felt more alone than she ever had in her life. The feast afterward was endless. Food she could not eat, wine she did not drink. Conversation that flowed around her while she sat at Harvey's side, silent and separate. He did not speak to her, did not touch her beyond what was required for appearances. They sat like two strangers forced to share a table. When it finally ended, when the last pack member had offered their congratulations and the hall began to empty. Adelaide appeared at her elbow. "It's time." Fiona's stomach dropped, though the mating night. She followed Adelaide through corridors that seemed to stretch forever, each step taking her closer to something she was not ready for. They stopped at a door, not her chambers, his. "Everything you need is inside." Adelaide's voice was gentle. "Trust your instincts, listen to your body, and remember, you are stronger than you think." Then she was gone. Fiona stood alone in the hallway, staring at the heavy wooden door. Behind it, Harvey Kingswell, her mate, her king, a man she did not know, who did not know her. And they were expected to. Fiona took a deep breath, pushed open the door, and stepped into the unknown. The chamber was larger than hers, darker. A massive fireplace dominated one wall, flames casting shadows that made everything feel unstable. The bed stood in the center of the room like an altar. Harvey was already there, standing near the window. He had removed his formal jacket. His white shirt was partially unbuttoned. He did not turn when she entered. Fiona closed the door behind her. The click of the latch sounded impossibly loud. "Your Majesty, Harvey!" His voice was rough. We are mated now. You may use my name." It felt wrong somehow, too intimate for people who were strangers. But she nodded. "Harvey." He finally turned to face her. The firelight caught his features, making him look almost human, almost vulnerable. But his eyes were still guarded, still distant. He stopped, started again. "This is required. You understand that?" It was not a question, but Fiona answered anyway. "Yes." Neither of them moved. The silence grew heavy, awkward. Fiona had expected, though she did not know what she had expected. For him to take control, perhaps, to be commanding in this as he was in everything else. But Harvey stood across the room from her, rigid and tense, looking like a man facing an execution rather than his wedding night. "Should I?" Fiona gestured vaguely toward the bed. "If you wish." His tone gave her nothing. No guidance, no reassurance. Fiona moved to the bed and sat on the edge, hands folded in her lap. The position felt absurdly formal, like she was waiting for a meeting to start. Harvey remained by the window. More silence. "Have you..." Fiona's voice came out too small. She tried again. "Have you done this before?" She saw his jaw tighten. "Not like this. What did that mean? Not with a mate? Not with someone innocent? Not with someone he barely knew? "I have not," Fiona said quietly, "done any of this." Harvey's eyes closed briefly. When they opened, something in them looked almost like regret. "I am aware." He crossed the room then. Not quickly. Each step deliberate, controlled. He stopped in front of her. Fiona had to tilt her head back to look at him. From this angle, he seemed impossibly large, impossibly powerful. "If I hurt you," Harvey's voice was lower than she had ever heard it. "Tell me. I will stop." It was the kindest thing he had said to her. Fiona nodded, not trusting her voice. Harvey reached out slowly. His hand touched her shoulder, just resting there. The warmth of his palm seeped through the thin fabric of her nightgown. Fiona held very still. His other hand came up, fingers brushing against her jaw, tilting her face toward his. He was going to kiss her. She realized it half a second before his mouth touched hers. The kiss was careful, almost hesitant. Nothing like the commanding presence he showed the world. His lips were warm, firm, but not demanding. Fiona's eyes fluttered closed. She tried to respond, to kiss him back, but she did not know how. Had never done this. Harvey pulled back after a moment. "Lie down," he said softly. She did, her heart racing, her hands trembling where they rested at her sides. Harvey sat on the edge of the bed beside her. He was breathing harder than normal. She could see the tension in his shoulders. "I need to." His hand moved to the hem of her nightgown. "Is this acceptable?" Acceptable. Such a formal word for something that should have been. Fiona did not know what it should have been, but this cold, careful negotiation felt wrong. "Yes," she whispered. Harvey lifted the fabric slowly, exposing her legs, her thighs. Higher. Fiona's breath caught. She wanted to close her eyes, but something made her keep them open. Keep watching his face. He was not looking at her body. He was looking at her face, watching for signs of distress, like this was a duty he was trying very hard not to fail at. When her nightgown was bunched around her waist, Harvey stopped. His hand rested on her hip, just holding, not moving. "I do not know." The admission seemed torn from him. "I do not know how to do this gently." The honesty broke something open in Fiona's chest. This powerful man, this alpha king who commanded armies. He was lost, just as lost as she was. "Then we will figure it out together," Fiona said quietly. Harvey's eyes met hers. For the first time, but she saw something real in them. Not the controlled mask he showed the world. Uncertainty, fear, and beneath that, a desperate desire not to hurt her. He leaned down, kissed her again. This time less carefully, more searching. Fiona tried to respond, tried to give him something to work with, but she did not know what she was doing, did not know where to put her hands, or how to move, or what she was supposed to feel. Harvey's hand slid higher on her thigh. Fiona tensed. He stopped immediately. "I am sorry." Her voice shook. "I am trying, I just..." "Do not apologize." Harvey pulled back, sitting up. His breathing was uneven. "This is... I am making this worse." "You are not." "I am." He stood abruptly, ran a hand through his hair. "I do not know how to be... I cannot..." He turned away from her. Fiona sat up, pulling her nightgown back down, and they were failing at something that should have been instinctive, natural. But nothing about this felt natural. "Harvey," Fiona's voice was steadier than she felt. "Look at me." He did not move. "Please." Finally he turned. The firelight caught the frustration in his expression, the self-directed anger. "We do not have to do this tonight," Fiona said. even though she knew that was not true. The bond required consummation. The pack expected it. Yes, we do. Harvey's voice was flat. If we do not, the bond remains incomplete. The council will question. I do not care what the council thinks. You should. They already see you as weak, as unsuitable. If we cannot even manage this basic requirement, I am not weak. Fiona stood, surprising herself with the force of her words. And neither are you. We are just, two people who do not know each other, being forced into something neither of us chose. Harvey stared at her. She had never contradicted him before, never pushed back. What would you have me do? There was something raw in his voice, almost helpless. Tell me what you need, and I will. I need you to stop treating this like a military operation. The words came out sharper than she intended. I need you to, I do not know, see me, not as a duty or a requirement or a solution to a political problem, just see me. The silence that followed felt different than before, heavier, more honest. Harvey moved back to the bed, sat down beside her, but this time he did not reach for her. He just sat. I do not know how to do what you are asking, he said finally. I have never learned to. I was taught to control, to command, to take what was needed through strength. And now? Now I am being asked to do something that requires the opposite of everything I know. Harvey looked at his hands. I am supposed to be gentle with you, patient, but I do not understand gentleness. I only understand power. Fiona's heart ached, for him, for herself, for this impossible situation they had been forced into. Then maybe, she chose her words carefully, maybe we start smaller, not with this, just with talking, learning about each other. Harvey's expression was skeptical. The bond must be consummated. Tonight? Right now? Or just eventually? She saw him consider this, saw the rigid expectations he had been carrying begin to shift slightly. I suppose, as eventually would still satisfy the requirement, then let us try that. Fiona felt some of the crushing pressure ease. Let us just be here together, without the expectations, without the performance. Harvey looked at her like she had suggested something revolutionary. Maybe, in his world, she had. They sat in silence for a long moment. Not the awkward, tense silence from before. Something quieter, more resigned. I do not know what to talk about, Harvey admitted. A surprised laugh escaped Fiona. She could not help it. This powerful, feared Alpha King, admitting he did not know how to have a conversation. Harvey's eyes narrowed. You find that amusing? I find it human. He seemed to consider that. Then, unexpectedly, his mouth quirked. Not quite a smile, but close. I am not often accused of being human. Maybe you should be. They sat together as the fire burned lower. Not touching, not intimate in the way the pack expected, but something between them had shifted. Not into warmth. Not yet, but into honesty. Eventually, Harvey stood. You should sleep. Take the bed. I will. Where will you sleep? He gestured to a settee near the fireplace. There. That cannot be comfortable. I have slept in worse places. Fiona wanted to argue, but she was exhausted, emotionally drained. She slid beneath the covers while Harvey settled on the settee, still partially dressed. The room fell quiet except for the crackling fire. Fiona stared at the ceiling, processing everything that had just happened. Or rather, everything that had not happened. They had failed at the one thing required of them. But somehow, for in that failure, they had found something more valuable. A glimpse of truth, a moment of vulnerability, a starting point. It was not what she had expected from her mating night, but maybe it was what they both needed. From across the room, Harvey's voice broke the silence. "Fiona? Yes. Thank you. For what?" A long pause. "For not hating me." Fiona's throat tightened. "I do not hate you. You should. I have given you every reason to. You have given me honesty. That is more than I expected." Another silence. Then, "Good night, Fiona." "Good night, Harvey." She fell asleep to the sound of his breathing across the room. Not beside her, not holding her, but present. It was more than she had hoped for, and far less than she needed. Morning came cold and grey. Fiona woke alone in Harvey's bed. The settee near the fireplace was empty. He had left without waking her. She sat up slowly, pulling the blankets around herself. The room looked different in daylight. Less intimidating. Just empty. Adelaide appeared within minutes of Fiona rising, carrying a tray of breakfast, and wearing an expression that asked no questions, but clearly wanted answers. "Good morning, my lady." The title still felt foreign, wrong. "Good morning." Adelaide set down the tray and began opening curtains. "His Majesty has already breakfasted and gone to morning drills with the guard. He asked that you rest as long as you need." Translation: he had fled. Fiona picked at the food without appetite. "Adelaide, what happens now? Now you settle into your role as Luna." Adelaide poured tea with practiced efficiency. "There will be formal introductions to the staff, meetings with pack representatives, or obligations. I meant with him, with Harvey." Adelaide's hands stilled. "That, my dear, is between the two of you." "But we did not." Fiona's voice dropped. "We did not complete the bond. I suspected as much. Will people know? Eventually, perhaps. The true bond creates certain markers, energy between mates, a connection that others can sense." Adelaide met her eyes. "But you have time. Most will not question it immediately. Time. For what? To figure out how to be intimate with a stranger. To learn how to bridge the impossible distance between them." "I do not know what I am doing," Fiona admitted. "None of us do, child. We just keep moving forward until it makes sense." The next several days fell into an uncomfortable pattern. Harvey was polite, distant. They took meals together in silence. He asked if she needed anything. She always said no. They existed in the same space without truly occupying it together. At night, Fiona returned to her own chambers. Harvey did not ask her to stay in his. She did not offer. The incomplete bond hung between them like a door neither knew how to open. Fiona began exploring the castle more thoroughly. It was massive, sprawling across the cliff top like a stone beast. Most of it felt abandoned. Cold rooms full of furniture covered in dust. No one had lived here. Really lived. Not in years. It was a functional space, a military installation, not a home. She found the library on her third day. A massive room lined floor to ceiling with books, most covered in dust, clearly unused. Fiona ran her fingers along the spines, feeling a small spark of joy for the first time since arriving. "No, I did not expect to find anyone here." She spun around. Dominic Lancaster stood in the doorway, the head guard, Harvey's closest advisor. "I apologize. I did not mean to intrude. You are Luna. You may go where you wish." He moved into the room, his military bearing softening slightly. "I am simply surprised. This room sees little use." "Does Harvey not read? His Majesty reads reports, strategic documents, not..." Dominic gestured at the shelves. "Stories." Fiona felt that familiar ache. Everything in Harvey's life was duty, function. Nothing existed just for pleasure or beauty. "May I ask you something?" She turned to face Dominic fully. What was he like before he became king? Dominic considered this carefully. I knew him only briefly before his father died. He was different, younger, still learning, but there was more light in him then. What happened to it? His father was assassinated. The territory fell into chaos. Harvey had to become hard very quickly, or the kingdom would have torn itself apart. Dominic's expression was somber. He saved us all. But I think he lost parts of himself in the process. Fiona absorbed this. The picture it painted of Harvey made sense. A boy forced to become steel, to sacrifice everything soft in order to survive. Can those parts be found again? She asked quietly. I do not know, my lady. But if anyone might help him remember. Dominic met her eyes. It would be someone who sees him as more than just a king. After he left, Fiona stood in the library for a long time. She had been so focused on her own fear, her own discomfort, that she had not fully considered Harvey's position, but he was as trapped as she was. Maybe more so, because while she could adapt, could learn new ways of being, Harvey only knew one way: control, distance, power. And now he was being asked to unlearn everything that had kept him alive. That evening, Fiona made a decision. She dressed carefully, not in the formal gowns they kept providing, but in something simpler, more comfortable. Then she went to Harvey's study. She knocked, waited. Enter. Harvey sat behind a massive desk covered in papers. He looked up when she entered, surprise flickering across his face. Fiona, is something wrong? No, She moved further into the room. I wanted to talk to you. Harvey set down his pen, gave her his full attention, but his expression remained guarded. About what? About us. About this, what arrangement we are living in. His jaw tightened. If you wish to renegotiate terms, I do not want to renegotiate. I want to understand. Fiona sat in the chair across from his desk. You said you do not know how to be gentle, how to be patient. But Harvey, I do not know how to be a Luna, how to navigate this world. We are both learning. He said nothing, but he was listening. What if we stopped pretending? Fiona continued. Stopped performing for the pack, for the council, for everyone watching us. What if we just tried to know each other, without expectations? To what purpose? To maybe become more than strangers bound by politics. Harvey leaned back in his chair. His eyes studied her with that same assessing quality. But this time, Fiona thought she saw something else there. Curiosity. What would that look like? He asked finally. I do not know. Conversations, perhaps. Shared meals where we actually talk. Time spent together that is not just obligation. I am not good at conversation, I noticed. A small smile touched Fiona's lips. But you are intelligent. You run an entire territory. Surely you can manage small talk with your wife. The word hung between them. Wife. She had never called herself that before. Harvey's expression shifted. Something almost vulnerable crossed his face. I will try, he said quietly. I cannot promise I will be good at it, but I will try. It was more than Fiona had expected. That is all I ask. She stood to leave. Harvey's voice stopped her at the door. Fiona. She turned back. Why are you doing this? Why are you... He seemed to struggle for words. Why are you trying so hard? You did not choose this. You owe me nothing. Fiona considered her answer carefully. Because I have to live here. With you. For the rest of my life. She met his eyes. I can do that miserably, resenting every moment. Or I can try to make it into something bearable. Maybe even something good. And you believe that is possible? I believe it is better than the alternative. Harvey held her gaze for a long moment. Then he nodded. It was a small gesture, but it felt like a beginning. The next morning, Harvey invited her to breakfast in his private dining room instead of the formal hall. It was awkward at first. They ate in silence. But then Harvey asked about her family, and Fiona talked about her father's small pack, her mother's gardens, her sister Lydia's recent mating to a kind alpha named Gabriel, or her brother Theodore's terrible singing voice. Harvey listened. Actually listened, asked occasional questions. When she finished, he told her about learning to fight as a child, about his first real battle at 17, about Dominic's loyalty through the darkest times. It was stilted, formal, but it was conversation, real conversation. They began meeting for breakfast regularly, then occasionally for walks through the castle grounds. Harvey showed her the training yards, introduced her to senior pack members, included her in ways that were small but significant. Fiona started attending council meetings, not speaking, just observing, learning how the territory ran. The council members were clearly uncomfortable with her presence at first, but Harvey made it clear she was welcome. "She is Luna," he said simply, "or she should understand how we govern." It was the first time he had defended her, claimed her as more than just a political necessity. Fiona felt something warm unfold in her chest. Slowly, the castle began to change. Fiona worked with Adelaide to bring life into the cold spaces. Flowers in the great hall, tapestries on bare walls, small comforts that made the place feel less like a fortress. Harvey said nothing about the changes, but she noticed him pausing sometimes, looking at a vase of roses, touching a soft cushion, like he was remembering that beauty could exist alongside strength. 3 weeks after their failed mating night, they attended a formal dinner with visiting alphas from allied packs. Fiona wore a gown of deep green that Adelaide had insisted was perfect. Her hair was styled elegantly, but the mating mark on her neck was visible, a claim for all to see. She sat beside Harvey at the head table, playing her role as Luna. One of the visiting alphas, Sebastian Ashford, was charming and talkative. He engaged Fiona in conversation about her adjustment to the north. "It must be quite different from your home pack," Sebastian said with an easy smile. "Very different," Fiona agreed. "But there is beauty here, in the mountains, in the strength of the people. And in your Alpha King, I hope." It was a bold question, slightly inappropriate. Fiona felt Harvey tense beside her. "My mate is formidable," she said carefully. "I am still learning to know him." Sebastian laughed. "Diplomacy already. You will make an excellent Luna, Lady Fiona." The conversation moved on, but Fiona was acutely aware of Harvey's rigid posture, his clenched jaw. Later, when the dinner ended and they walked back through the castle halls, Harvey was silent, more than usual. "Harvey, is something wrong?" "No," but his tone said otherwise. "You seem upset." "I am not upset." They reached her chambers. Fiona stopped at the door. "If this is about Sebastian, why would it be about him?" Harvey's voice was sharp. "He was simply being polite, charming, everything I am not." Fiona blinked. "Are you jealous?" "No." But the word came out too fast, too defensive. Fiona felt something shift in her understanding. Harvey Kingswell, Alpha King of the North, was jealous of a visiting alpha who had made her laugh during dinner. It should not have made her feel anything. But it did. It made her feel seen. "Harvey." She kept her voice gentle. "Sebastian was being friendly, but nothing more. He looked at you like..." Harvey stopped, turned away. "It does not matter. It matters to me." "Why?" Because I am your mate. Because what you feel matters. Harvey's shoulders were rigid. I do not know what I feel. I only know that watching him make you smile. I wanted to remove him from the room. The raw honesty in his voice made Fiona's breath catch. You could make me smile, she said softly, if you tried. Harvey turned back to face her. I do not know how. Then learn, the way I am learning to be Luna, the way we are both learning to be this. She gestured between them. The distance that had felt so vast 3 weeks ago seemed smaller now, still present, but bridgeable. Harvey moved closer, not quite touching, but near enough that Fiona could feel the heat of him. I'm trying, he said quietly. This, us, I am trying to be more than what I was raised to be. I know, but I do not know if I can give you what you need. Fiona reached up slowly, gave him time to pull away. When he did not, she touched his face, just her fingertips against his jaw. He went very still. What I need, Fiona said, is for you to keep trying. That is all. Just keep trying. Harvey's eyes closed. He leaned into her touch, just slightly. It was the first time he had allowed himself to accept comfort from her. I should go, Fiona whispered. But she did not move. Neither did Harvey. They stood in the hallway, Fiona's hand against his face, his eyes closed, breathing the same air. Not intimate. Not yet. But closer than they had ever been. Finally, Harvey stepped back. Good night, Fiona. Good night. She slipped into her chambers and closed the door, then leaned against it, her heart pounding. Something had changed tonight. Something important. Harvey had shown her jealousy, vulnerability, the admission that he was trying. It was not love, not even affection, really, but it was real. And real was more than she had expected when she first arrived in this cold castle 4 weeks ago. Real was a beginning. The breakfast table had become their ritual. Every morning, Fiona joined Harvey in his private dining room. They talked about small things, the weather, castle repairs. Occasionally, something deeper would surface. A memory, a fear, a fragment of truth. It was not perfect. Harvey still struggled with openness, but he was trying. This morning, he looked particularly tense. Is something wrong? Fiona asked, spreading jam on her toast. Harvey set down his cup. Sebastian Ashford has requested to extend his stay. He wishes to discuss trade agreements. Something in his tone made Fiona look up. And this troubles you? No. Harvey's jaw tightened. Why would it? Fiona hid a smile. He was a terrible liar when it came to his feelings. Perhaps because you do not like him. I have no opinion on him, Harvey. He met her eyes. For a moment, she thought he might actually admit to his jealousy. But old habits were hard to break. He may stay as long as necessary for business, Harvey said stiffly. That is all. Fiona decided not to push. Not yet. Over the next few days, Sebastian's presence became more noticeable. He had a way of being wherever Fiona happened to be. The library, the gardens, the corridors, always polite, always charming, always finding reasons to talk to her. Fiona was not stupid, or she knew what he was doing, testing boundaries, seeing how the new Luna responded to attention. She kept her responses friendly but distant. She had no interest in Sebastian, but she could not help noticing how Harvey watched whenever they spoke. Dark eyes tracking every interaction, every smile, every laugh. The tension built like a storm gathering strength. It broke 5 days after Sebastian's arrival. Fiona had been in the gardens, enjoying rare sunshine. Sebastian found her among the roses. Lady Fiona, you look lovely this morning. Thank you, Alpha Ashford. Please call me Sebastian. We are practically family, are we not? Allied packs and all. He moved closer. Not inappropriately, but closer than necessary. I have been meaning to tell you, Sebastian continued, how impressed I am with what you have done here. Or the castle feels warmer, more alive. I've only added a few small touches. You have done more than that. You have brought light into a very dark place. His voice dropped lower. Harvey Kingswell is a lucky man. He is my mate. Fiona's tone cooled slightly. I am honored to serve as his Luna. Of course. Of course. Sebastian smiled. Though I wonder, does he appreciate what he has? Or is he too consumed by duty to notice? It was a calculated question, designed to find weakness. Fiona straightened. My relationship with the Alpha King is not your concern. I meant no offense. I only meant that if you ever need someone to talk to, someone who understands how isolating this life can be, she has me for that. Both Fiona and Sebastian turned. Harvey stood 10 feet away. Fiona had not heard him approach, but from the fury in his eyes, he had heard enough. Your Majesty. Sebastian bowed. I was just telling your Luna how well she has adapted. I heard what you were telling my Luna. Harvey moved forward. His body language was pure dominance. And I am telling you that your concern is noted, but unnecessary. The air between the two alphas crackled with tension. Sebastian's smile did not quite reach his eyes. Of course, Your Majesty. I will leave you to your conversation. He walked away without another word. Fiona waited until he was out of earshot. Harvey, do not defend him. I was not going to. I was going to say thank you. That seemed to surprise him. Some of the fury in his expression eased. For what? For, Fiona chose her words carefully, for caring enough to be angry. Harvey looked away. He was overstepping. Yes, but you have not claimed me like that before. Publicly. You are my mate. That is claim enough. Is it? Fiona moved closer. Or have you just been going through the motions, fulfilling requirements? Harvey's hands curled into fists. That is not fair. Then what is this? What are we doing, Harvey? I do not know. The admission burst from him with surprising force. I do not know what we are doing. I only know that watching him talk to you, stand close to you, make you smile, it made me want to tear him apart. Fiona's breath caught. Why? Because you are mine. The words were raw, possessive, nothing like his usual controlled statements. Am I? Fiona challenged. Because most of the time, I feel like a guest in your life. Someone who shares your space, but not your thoughts. Or not your heart. Harvey's eyes blazed. You want my thoughts? Fine. I think about you constantly. I wonder what you are doing. If you are happy. If you hate being bound to someone as cold as me. I see you bringing warmth into this dead place, and I think maybe, just maybe, some of that warmth might reach me. Fiona stared at him. She had never heard him speak like this, never seen this much emotion in his face. But then I remember, Harvey continued, his voice dropping, that I do not know how to be what you need. I am good at ruling, at commanding, at maintaining control, but being gentle, being open, being someone you might actually choose to be with if you had the option. He shook his head. I do not know how to do that. And watching Sebastian, someone charming and easy and everything I am not, talk to you like you matter. I do matter, Fiona said quietly. Do I not? Harvey looked at her like she had struck him. Of course you matter. Then show me. Not with words. Not with territory or title or political protection. Show me that I matter to you. As a person, not as a duty. The silence stretched between them. Then Harvey moved. He closed the distance in 2 strides. His hands came up to frame her face, gentle despite their size, despite their strength. "I do not know what I am doing," he said roughly, "but I know I cannot stand the thought of losing you, not to Sebastian, not to anyone." Then he kissed her, not carefully like before, not with the hesitation of their wedding night. This kiss was claiming, desperate, or full of everything he could not say. Fiona's hands came up to grip his shirt. She kissed him back with equal intensity, pouring her own frustration and longing into the contact. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Harvey pressed his forehead against hers. "I am trying," he whispered. "I know I am terrible at this, but I am trying to be more than what I was. I know. Stay with me tonight." The words came out rough, not because the bond requires it, not because of duty, just stay. Fiona's heart pounded. Yes. They did not move apart. They stood in the garden, holding each other, while around them the roses bloomed and the sun warmed the cold stones of the castle. Something had shifted. Something fundamental. Harvey had let his control slip, had shown her what he felt instead of just what he thought he should feel. And Fiona had seen for the first time the man beneath the king. That evening, Fiona went to Harvey's chambers, not out of obligation, not because she had been summoned, because she chose to. Harvey was waiting. He had dismissed the servants, built up the fire. The room was warm, almost inviting. He stood when she entered. "You came. I said I would. I thought perhaps you might change your mind." Fiona closed the door behind her. "I do not want to change my mind." Harvey moved closer, slowly, giving her time to retreat. She did not. When he reached her, his hands came up to gently touch her shoulders. "I need you to tell me if I do something wrong, if I hurt you, if you want me to stop. I will. Promise me." "I promise." Harvey's hands slid down her arms. His touch was careful, reverent in a way she had never experienced from him. "I have thought about this," he admitted quietly. "About how to do this properly. How to make it good for you." Fiona's breath caught. "You have?" I asked Dominic. Harvey's expression turned almost embarrassed. He laughed at me. Then he told me to listen, to pay attention to you, to go slowly. The image of the fearsome Alpha King asking his guard for intimate advice made Fiona want to laugh and cry at the same time. "That sounds like good advice," she managed. Harvey's hands moved to the laces of her dress. "May I?" "Yes." He undressed her slowly. His hands shook slightly. Whether from nervousness or restraint, Fiona could not tell. When she stood before him, in just her thin shift, Harvey's eyes darkened. But he did not rush. "You are beautiful," he said roughly. "I should have told you that before, of many times before. You can tell me now. You are beautiful and brave, and far stronger than I gave you credit for." Fiona reached up to unbutton his shirt. Her fingers fumbled with the fastenings. Harvey stood perfectly still, letting her set the pace. When his chest was bare, Fiona placed her palm over his heart, felt it hammering beneath her touch. "You are nervous," she said softly, terrified. The honesty disarmed her. "Why? Because this matters. You matter, and I do not want to fail at this again." Fiona stood on her toes, pressed her lips to his jaw. "Then we will not fail. We will just learn." Harvey's arms came around her, careful but secure. He lifted her easily, carried her to the bed. This time, when he laid her down, there was no awkwardness, no rigid uncertainty, just intention. Harvey knelt beside the bed. removed her shift with careful hands. When she lay bare before him, he took his time looking at her. Not assessing, not judging, appreciating. "Tell me what you need," he said. "I do not know. Then we will discover it together." He started with kisses, slow, deep kisses that made Fiona's head spin. His hands explored carefully, learning the map of her body. When he touched her breast, Fiona gasped. Harvey stopped immediately. "Too much?" "No, it feels good?" "Yes," he continued, mouth following where his hands had been. Fiona's body arched into the sensations. She had not known it could feel like this. Harvey's hand slid lower, between her thighs. Fiona tensed. "Breathe," Harvey murmured against her skin. "Just breathe. I will not hurt you." He touched her gently, carefully, watching her face for every reaction. When he found a spot that made her cry out, he focused there, patient, attentive. Fiona felt something building, tightening. She did not know what it was, only that it felt overwhelming. "Harvey, I have you. Let go." The tension broke. Pleasure crashed through her in waves that left her shaking. Harvey held her through it, whispering things she could not quite hear over the roaring in her ears. When she finally came back to herself, Harvey was watching her with an expression she had never seen before. Wonder. That was... Fiona could not find words. Beautiful. Harvey's voice was rough with emotion. "You are beautiful." "Your turn," Fiona whispered. "Are you certain?" "Yes." Harvey stood, removed the rest of his clothing. Fiona had seen male bodies before in her home pack, but seeing Harvey like this, powerful and vulnerable at the same time, made her breath catch. He moved over her carefully, supporting his weight, making sure not to crush her. "This might hurt at first," he warned. "Tell me if it is too much." Fiona nodded. Harvey positioned himself, pressed forward slowly. There was a pressure, uncomfortable stretching. Fiona's hands gripped his shoulders. Harvey stopped. "Breathe." She did. The discomfort eased slightly. He moved again, slowly, giving her body time to adjust. When he was fully inside her, Harvey held perfectly still. His face was strained with the effort of control. "Are you all right?" he asked through gritted teeth. "Yes, you can move." Harvey withdrew slightly, pressed back in, watching her face constantly. The discomfort began to fade, replaced by something else, a fullness, a connection, or Fiona's body began to move with his, finding a rhythm. Harvey's control started to slip. His movements became less careful, more desperate. "Fiona," her name came out like a prayer. "I am here. I have you." He buried his face in her neck. His body shuddered as he found his release. They lay tangled together afterward, breathing hard, skin damp with sweat. Harvey rolled to the side, pulling her with him, keeping her close. "Did I hurt you?" he asked quietly. "A little, at first. But then it felt right." Harvey's arms tightened around her. "The bond is complete now. You are truly mine. And you are mine." She felt him smile against her hair. "Yes, I suppose I am." They lay in silence for a while. Fiona traced patterns on Harvey's chest. "What are you thinking?" she asked. "That I was a fool. Why? For waiting so long. For letting fear and ignorance keep me from this. From you." Fiona propped herself up on one elbow, looked down at him. In the firelight, Harvey's face was softer than she had ever seen it, the hard edges gentled by satisfaction and something that might have been contentment. "We had to learn," she said. "Both of us. We are still learning. I want to keep learning." Harvey's hand came up to cup her face. "I want to know everything about you. What makes you laugh? What frightens you? what you dream about. And I want to know the same about you. I am not very interesting. You are the most interesting person I have ever met." Harvey pulled her down for another kiss. Slower this time. Deeper. "Stay," he murmured against her lips. "Always. Not just tonight. Always," Fiona promised. They made love again that night. Slower, with less urgency and more exploration. And when they finally fell asleep, wrapped around each other, it was not duty that bound them. It was choice. Harvey had chosen to open himself to her. Fiona had chosen to see beyond his walls, and together they had created something neither had expected when this arrangement began. Something that felt dangerously close to love. The change in their relationship was immediate and profound. Harvey no longer slept on the settee or kept distance. They shared his bed every night. Sometimes they made love. Sometimes they just talked in the darkness until sleep claimed them. Fiona learned that Harvey had nightmares, that he woke sometimes in cold sweats, haunted by the violence of his early rain. She learned to hold him through those moments, to whisper reassurance until his breathing calmed. Harvey learned that Fiona loved stories, that she had dreamed of traveling but never had the opportunity. He began reading to her at night, his deep voice turning tales of distant lands into something intimate. Small rituals developed between them. Morning walks through the training grounds, Harvey explaining tactics while Fiona asked questions that made him think. Afternoon tea in the library, Fiona reading while Harvey worked on correspondence. Evening baths together. Something Fiona had suggested shyly, and Harvey had embraced with enthusiasm. The castle staff noticed the change, whispered about how the Luna had softened the king, how he smiled more, how his temper had cooled. Adelaide watched it all with satisfaction. "I told you," she said to Fiona one morning while helping her dress. "Poor, you were stronger than you realized." "I am not sure I did anything," Fiona protested. "You showed him that vulnerability is not weakness. That is everything." 2 months into their mating, Harvey had to leave for a week-long tour of the border territories. "Come with me," he said the night before his departure. They lay in bed, Fiona's head on his chest. The council said, "I do not care what the council said. I want you with me." Fiona smiled. "Then I will come." The journey was exhausting but revealing. Fiona saw how Harvey ruled, firm but fair, listening to concerns from even the smallest packs. She saw the respect he commanded, and the fear. But she also saw moments of kindness, a young wolf given a second chance after making a mistake, an elderly alpha thanked for years of service. The Harvey was not the monster people whispered about. He was complex, layered, capable of both ruthlessness and compassion. On the 3rd night of their journey, they stayed in a small outpost. The accommodations were basic, a single room with a narrow bed. Harvey looked at it skeptically. "This is not what you deserve." Fiona laughed. "It is fine. I could demand better." "Harvey, it is fine. I am with you. That is all that matters." He looked at her like she had given him a gift. They made love that night in the narrow bed, trying to be quiet because the walls were thin. It turned into a game. Harvey finding ways to make Fiona gasp while she bit her lip to stay silent. Afterward, tangled together in the small space, Harvey said something that made Fiona's heart stop. "I love you." 3 words. Simple. Enormous. Fiona pulled back to look at his face. "What?" Harvey's expression was open, vulnerable. "I love you, Fiona. I did not plan to, did not think I was capable of it. But I do." Tears pricked at Fiona's eyes. "I love you too." Harvey kissed her, deep and claiming and full of emotion. "Say it again," he murmured against her lips. "I love you. Again, I love you, Harvey Kingswell. My mate, my king, my heart." He made love to her again then, slower, more reverent. Afterward, they talked about the future. "I want children," Harvey admitted. "Not for the bloodline, not for heirs. I want children with you because I want to build a family. Something I never had." Fiona's hand rested on his chest. "I want that too. Soon, whenever it happens." Harvey's hand covered hers. "I will be a better father than mine was. I will be present, loving, and I will not let duty consume everything. I know you will." They returned to the castle different than when they left, no longer performing a role, no longer figuring out how to be together. They simply were. The council noticed. Cassius approached Harvey one afternoon. "Your Majesty, I must say, the Luna has had a remarkable effect on you." Harvey's expression was guarded. "Meaning? Meaning you seem content, at peace in a way I haven't seen since before your father's death." Harvey considered this. "She has shown me that strength and gentleness are not mutually exclusive. The pack has noticed. They respect her. More importantly, they see that you respect her. She is my equal in all things." Cassius smiled. "That is wise, Your Majesty. Very wise." 3 months into their mating, Fiona woke feeling strange, nauseous, dizzy, her breasts tender. She said nothing at first, did not want to hope. But when 2 weeks passed and her cycle did not come, she went to the castle healer. The older woman examined her carefully, then smiled. "Congratulations, my lady. You are with child." Fiona sat in stunned silence. A child, Harvey's child, their child. "How long?" she managed to ask. "About 6 weeks, I would estimate. Still very early, but the signs are clear." Fiona thanked her, walked back to their chambers in a daze. She needed to tell Harvey. But how? That evening, she found him in his study. He looked up when she entered, smiling. "I was just thinking about you. Harvey, I need to tell you something." His expression shifted immediately. "What is wrong?" "Nothing is wrong. At least I do not think it is." Fiona moved closer. "I saw the healer today." Harvey stood. "Are you ill?" "No, I am. Harvey, I am pregnant." The words hung in the air. Harvey stared at her. His face went through a dozen emotions: shock, disbelief, wonder, joy. "You are certain?" "Yes." He crossed to her in 2 strides, dropped to his knees in front of her. His hands came up to rest on her still flat stomach. "A child." His voice was rough with emotion. "Our child." Fiona's hands came down to cover his. "Are you happy?" Harvey looked up at her. His eyes were wet. "Happy does not begin to cover what I feel." He stood, pulled her into his arms, held her so tightly she could barely breathe. "Thank you," he whispered into her hair. "Thank you for this, for everything, for seeing past the king to the man, for loving me when I did not deserve it." "You deserve it," Fiona said fiercely. "You deserve all of it." That night, Harvey was impossibly gentle with her, treating her like she might break. "I am not fragile," Fiona protested. "You are carrying our child. You are the most precious thing in my world. I will treat you accordingly." He made love to her with such tenderness that Fiona wept. Afterward, he held her close, one hand resting protectively on her stomach. "I used to think power was everything," Harvey said quietly. "Control, dominance, absolute authority. That was what made a king. And now? Now I know that real power is in this, in holding someone you love, in creating life together, in building something that lasts beyond conquest and territory. Fiona turned in his arms, kissed him softly. "You are going to be an incredible father. I am going to try. I am going to give our child everything I never had. Love, warmth, and presence. I know you will." They fell asleep, wrapped around each other. Harvey's hand never leaving the place where their child grew. The next morning, Harvey announced the pregnancy to the council. The room erupted in congratulations. Even the most stoic councillors looked pleased. "This is excellent news, Your Majesty," Cassius said. "The pack will be thrilled. A royal heir ensures continuity." "This child is not just an heir," Harvey said firmly. "This child is my family, and they will be raised with love, not just duty." The council members exchanged glances. This was not the Harvey Kingswell they had known, but it was the one Fiona had helped him become. Over the next few months, Harvey became almost obsessive about Fiona's well-being. He insisted she rest more. He brought her meals when she felt too sick to come to the dining room. He read to her every night, his hand always resting on her growing belly. When the baby began to move, Harvey was there. His eyes went wide with wonder as he felt the tiny kicks beneath his palm. "That is our child," he said with awe. "Yes. I never imagined..." He stopped, swallowed hard. "I never imagined I could have this. Any of this." Fiona took his hand, pressed it more firmly against her stomach. "You have it now. We have it." The castle transformed during Fiona's pregnancy, not just physically, though they prepared a nursery with care, but in atmosphere. Laughter echoed through halls that had only known silence. Warmth replaced cold efficiency. Life pushed out the shadows. Harvey smiled more, touched more, allowed himself to be seen as more than just a king. One evening, 7 months into Fiona's pregnancy, they sat in the library together, Fiona reading while Harvey worked. She looked up to find him watching her. "What?" she asked, smiling. "I was just thinking about the day you arrived. And? I thought you were a problem I had to solve, an obligation I had to fulfill." "I know." Harvey set down his papers, came to sit beside her. His hand found her swollen belly automatically. "I was wrong. You were not a problem. You were the answer to everything I did not know I needed." Fiona leaned into him. "We were both answers. You showed me I could be more than what my family expected, more than just obedient and quiet. You were never just that. I was simply too blind to see it." They sat together in comfortable silence. The baby kicked against Harvey's hand. "Active tonight?" Fiona commented. "Or takes after their mother? Or their father?" Harvey smiled. "Perhaps both." Looking at him now, relaxed, content, utterly transformed from the cold king she had first met, Fiona marveled at the journey they had taken. From strangers forced together by politics, to lovers learning each other through vulnerability, to partners building a life neither had imagined possible. It had not been easy. There had been stumbles and failures and moments of profound uncertainty. But they had kept trying, kept choosing each other. And somehow, they had found love in the last place, either expected to find it, in each other. The labor began on a cold winter morning. Fiona woke to sharp pain radiating through her belly. She gripped Harvey's arm, her breath catching. He was awake instantly. "What is wrong?" "The baby. I think it is time." Harvey moved faster than Fiona had ever seen him move, calling for the healer, for Adelaide, for everyone necessary. Within minutes, the room filled with people. But Harvey never left her side. "You need to go," the healer said gently. "This is not a place for..." "I'm staying." Harvey's tone left no room for argument. His hand gripped Fiona's. I'm staying with my mate. The labor was long, painful. Fiona had never experienced anything like it. But every time she wanted to give up, Harvey was there, wiping her forehead, whispering encouragement, being the steady presence she needed. "You can do this," he said over and over. "You are the strongest person I know. You can do this." Hours blurred together, pain and pressure, and Harvey's voice cutting through it all. And then, finally, a sharp cry split the air. "It is a girl," the healer announced, holding up a tiny, squalling infant. A healthy baby girl. Fiona collapsed back against the pillows, exhausted and overwhelmed. Harvey stared at the baby with an expression of pure wonder. The healer cleaned the infant quickly, then placed her in Harvey's arms. He held her like she was made of glass, like the slightest wrong move might break her. "She is perfect," he whispered, tears streaming openly down his face. "Fiona, she is perfect." Fiona watched through her own tears as the fearsome Alpha King cradled their daughter, completely undone by this tiny life. "Let me see her." Harvey moved carefully to the bed, placed the baby in Fiona's arms. She was so small, so delicate. Her eyes were closed, her tiny fists curled against Fiona's chest. "Hello, little one," Fiona whispered. "We have been waiting for you." The baby made a small noise, nuzzled closer to her mother's warmth. Harvey sat on the edge of the bed, his arm around Fiona, his eyes never leaving their daughter. "What should we name her?" Fiona asked. Harvey considered. "What do you think of Aurora? It means dawn, new beginning." "Aurora," Fiona tested the name. "Aurora Kingswell. It is beautiful. Like her mother." They sat together in the quiet aftermath, the three of them, a family. Everything else, the kingdom, the politics, the weight of ruling, faded into the background. Right now there was only this, only them. The next few weeks were a blur of sleepless nights and learning how to care for an infant. Harvey was surprisingly hands-on. He changed Aurora's diapers without complaint, walked the floors with her when she cried, sang to her in a deep, rumbling voice that always soothed her. Fiona watched him become a father in real time, watched him pour all the love he had never received as a child into this tiny person. "You are a natural," she said one night, watching him rock Aurora to sleep. "I am terrified every moment that I will do something wrong." "That means you are doing it right." Harvey looked down at their daughter's sleeping face. "I never want her to feel unloved, or alone, or like she has to earn affection through achievement. She will always know she is loved. We will make sure of it." As Aurora grew, the castle changed even more dramatically. The cold, austere halls now echoed with baby laughter. Servants smiled. The pack gathered to celebrate their princess. Harvey held council meetings with Aurora, sleeping against his chest. Made territorial decisions while patting her back when she fussed. No one dared comment on the Alpha King's softness, not when they saw how happy he was. When Aurora was 3 months old, Fiona returned to some of her lunar duties. She started holding audience hours for pack members who needed to bring concerns. Harvey sat beside her, Aurora in his arms, while they listened and made decisions together. The pack saw their rulers as partners, equals, parents. It changed the entire dynamic of leadership. "You have transformed this kingdom," Dominic told Fiona one afternoon. "Not just the castle, but the entire approach to governance. I have only shown Harvey that he can be both king and man. That is more revolutionary than you realize." One evening, when Aurora was 6 months old and sleeping peacefully in the nursery, Fiona and Harvey sat together in their chambers. "Do you remember our wedding night?" Fiona asked. Harvey's expression turned rueful. How could I forget? I was completely lost. We both were. I thought I had failed you. Failed us. Fiona moved to sit in his lap. His arms came around her automatically now, natural as breathing. You gave me something more important than successful consummation that night, she said. What? Honesty, vulnerability, a glimpse of the real man beneath the crown. Harvey's hands tightened on her waist. I did not know how to do any of this, how to be a husband, a mate, a father. But you learned. We learned together. I love you. Harvey said it easily now, often. I love you more than I thought it was possible to love anyone. I love you too, my fierce king, my gentle husband, or my Aurora's father. Harvey kissed her, deep and claiming and full of promise. When they broke apart, he rested his forehead against hers. I used to think power was about control, about dominance, about never showing weakness. And now? Now I know real power is in letting yourself be vulnerable, in loving someone so much that they could destroy you, and trusting them not to. Fiona's eyes filled with tears. You trusted me. You showed me I could. You saw past everything I used to survive, and found the parts of me I thought I had lost forever. They made love that night with a familiarity born of months of learning each other. But it never grew old or routine. Each time felt like a discovery, a celebration of what they had built. Afterward, lying tangled together, Harvey said, I want more children. Fiona laughed softly. Or Aurora is only 6 months old. I know, but someday, I want our home to be filled with life and love and chaos. That sounds perfect. They fell asleep, wrapped around each other, content, complete. The years that followed brought more children. 2 sons, Atticus and Gabriel, and another daughter, Rosalie. The castle transformed entirely. Children's laughter replaced cold silence. Warmth filled every corner. The kingdom flourished under leadership that balanced strength with compassion. Harvey never stopped being the Alpha King, but he learned to be so much more. A husband who cherished his mate. A father who showed his children love every single day. A leader who ruled with both authority and heart. And Fiona, the girl who had been given to him as a political solution, became the Luna who changed everything. Not through grand gestures or dramatic actions, but through steady patience, through seeing him as more than his title, through loving him when he did not know how to love himself. 10 years after their mating, they stood on the castle balcony together, watching their children play in the courtyard below. Aurora, now a confident 10-year-old, was teaching her younger siblings to track. Atticus and Gabriel were making a game of it. Rosalie, only 3, toddled after them with determination. Look at them, Harvey said softly. Look at what we made. Fiona leaned into him. Not just them. Look at all of this. She gestured at the castle, the pack members moving about with purpose and contentment, the life they had built. I never imagined I could have this, Harvey admitted. I thought I would rule alone. Die alone, or be remembered only for the territories I conquered. And now? Now I hope I will be remembered as the king who learned to love, who chose vulnerability over absolute control, who built a family instead of just an empire. Fiona turned in his arms, looked up at the man she had married as a stranger, who had become her best friend, her partner, her everything. You will be remembered as all of that and more. You will be remembered as the king who changed. Harvey kissed her gently. Because you gave me a reason to. Below them, Aurora's laugh rang out, clear and joyful. It was the sound of hope, of new beginnings, of a future built on love instead of duty. Harvey had conquered kingdoms through strength, but he had won a family through surrender, through opening himself to the terrifying possibility of connection, of need, or of loving someone so deeply that their happiness became more important than his control. "Do you ever regret it?" Fiona asked. "Agreeing to the mating? Taking in a girl you never wanted?" Harvey's arms tightened around her. "Never. Not for a single moment. You are the best decision I never made." Fiona smiled. "What do you mean?" "The council forced my hand. I had no choice. But choosing to open my heart to you, choosing to try, to love, those were my decisions, the most important ones I ever made." They stood together in comfortable silence, watching their children, feeling the weight and warmth of what they had built. A kingdom, yes, but more importantly, a home. The girl who was given became the woman who was chosen. The king who knew only power learned that love was the greatest strength. And together, they proved that even the coldest hearts could learn to burn, not through fire and conquest, but through patience, vulnerability, and the radical act of letting someone in. They say an alpha king can command armies with a single word. But Harvey Kingswell learned that understanding a woman's heart required something far more difficult than command. It required surrender. And in surrendering his walls, his control, his fear, he gained everything. Love, family, a life worth living beyond duty. Fiona had arrived at his castle as a solution to a political problem. She became the answer to questions he had never known to ask. And their story, beginning in awkwardness, uncertainty, and failure, became the legend of the North. Not a tale of conquest, but a story of transformation, of two people who chose each other again and again, until choosing became as natural as breathing. This was their legacy, not territories or power, but love that changed everything. If you enjoyed Harvey and Fiona's story, please like this video. It truly helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you would like more stories like this. Leave a comment below. I would love to know where you are watching from, and I would really appreciate your thoughts on this. Do you think Fiona was too patient with Harvey, or did he deserve the time he needed to learn how to love? I genuinely want to hear your perspective. There is no wrong answer, just honest opinions. Feel free to share this story with anyone who might enjoy it. This is Ariel Romance Library. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.